Hey guys, I got some good feedback from that last video from 2024 about Airbnbs, if they're a good investment in Big Bear or not, because we have a lot of competition. So today we're going to do another deep dive into why Airbnb market up here is still a good opportunity for second homeowners in 2025. So grab a cup of coffee, let's explore some numbers, trends, and tips, and we'll see if Big Bear is a smart investment for you guys. If you're thinking about buying a second home that can also generate income, Big Bear might just be your golden ticket. Only if you know exactly what to look for to rental. We have a lot of competition, like I said before. So in this video, I'm going to break down some of the latest data, trends, and some of the things you need to know to make it a profitable venture for you guys. By the end, you'll see why if you do it right, your Big Bear Airbnb could be thriving and why it might be a good time for you to jump in. First things first, we'll talk about numbers. Like in the last video, in 2025, we still have over 10,000 Airbnbs in the whole Big Bear Valley. You have a little less in Bear City and a lot in Bear Lake. It's a lot of competition, but the demand is still going up. We are still so close to the different areas that people can drive to, so we're not just dependent on people flying in to come up here. Occupancy rates vary. Depending on who you talk to, you're going to be shooting for different numbers in that sense, where if you're at least hitting 130 to 150 rents in a year, then you should be having a good ROI. But if you're looking at old numbers, don't take those into consideration because we need to know what's happening now. I don't want you to buy a house and only make 25 grand on it a year. I have an Airbnb next to Snow Summit. Not next to it, but it's literally like 2 blocks away, walking distance, projections from management companies. And they've only projected me to make 30 to 35,000 last year. Just so you guys know, I grossed 50 grand, almost 60 grand actually, if you take some of the off market bookings that I had in consideration. Here's a little snippet from my news report just to prove to you guys I know what I'm talking about. But now let's go back to the Airbnbs up here. Big Bear is a seasonal market. The peak season for renting is going to be from December through April, because of course the winter sports, holidays, and all that kind of stuff. And you'll have some people staying for the spring activities. During these months, your daily rates, depending on how big your house is, can go anywhere from 400 to 1,000 a night. Depending where you are, also will dictate how much of your income is generated during the winter months. If you're closer to, let's say, the slopes, about 70% of your income is going to be winter heavy months. Same with mine. A lot of mine is December, January, February, March, parts of April. The average occupancy rate up here during an average across like the whole month, you're going to be happy if you're hitting that 40 to 50% occupancy rate. That's great numbers. My house actually did closer to 80%. I even had back-to-backs where I had 6 bookings back-to-back, check in, check out. And some months we made 12 grand on this house. And this house isn't huge. It's only 1,200, 1,300 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath. But there's a lot of amenities that I added to it that you need to do on yours, that if you work with us, I'll show you certain things to do that'll differentiate yourself from the competition and get you more. Of course, the spas, all that normal stuff, but there's other things that I did in mine that just get me more bookings. Not necessarily more per night, but it keeps it booked more and making me more money. I think last year, I'll double check, but I believe I booked 150 nights of house paid for itself and gives me extra money to put back into it for to pay for the taxes, everything. So nothing out of pocket for me to own this house, which I know a lot of you guys are trying to shoot for. For example, I'm still on the mindset, if you do it right, we're going to try to get you that 7% to 10% gross off your purchase price. You buy a house for 500 grand, you need to be making anywhere from 35 to 50. The one I have, I paid $525. It needed some work, but after it was all said and done, pushing almost 60. So we're over 10% gross on the ROI, which is great. But it's also not just about the money for you guys. So a lot of people buy up here to get away. So let's not think of Airbnbs up here just as something that's going to make you a lot of money, because a lot of times it won't. What a good barometer that you're going to shoot for is where mainly they'll pay for itself, close to the break-even point, and maybe you have to come out of pocket a few grand at the end of the year, which is great. So you're getting appreciation, you're getting a house mainly paying for itself, and you get something you can use in your family that can get away. Also, with Airbnbs, there's more rules up here. A lot of people ask, is Big Bear trying to get rid of them? A couple of years ago, they had a vote come up trying to really tighten down the Airbnbs in Bear Lake. It failed, but certain things are still in place. You can only own 2 Airbnbs up here in Bear Lake. That's the 92315 zip code. Doesn't matter if you're an entity, LLC, whatever it is, you only own 2. You have a yearly permit fee of $550. It might go up, I can't remember. I just paid $550 for mine. You have occupancy rates. And so even if the house, say you have a huge house, but you don't have the bedroom count or the parking spot count, they're going to limit you as well. So you got to make sure you're looking for the right things. The bare minimum, I would say, if you can, to get the best ROI, would be a 3-bed. 4-beds are the best and up, because you can get multiple families in there. They split the cost and you make more money. 4-bedroom houses are usually a little more rare, but if you can find those, I'd say jump on those right away. But like I said, if you do it right and you do the things that will coach you guys on when you're searching for these Airbnbs, you should do fine. The barometer for our house was set at 30 to 35 grand. First year with what I did to it, we almost did 60. We grossed just 50 something just on Airbnb alone. As you saw before, I showed you guys a proof of that. If you want, I can sit down with you guys and you're looking and break it down in more detail about exactly what you need to do and the little amenities that will set you apart from your neighbor. We're going to go from there. The best thing about the Big Bear Market, and we special, is a year-round appeal. Even during summer, we get people on July 4th, big holidays, lake lovers. And I think it's 90-something% of our guests that visit are local domestic. Like LA, Orange County, San Diego, and Las Vegas. Meaning we don't have to rely on people paying for plane tickets. They can just drive up and get away for the day, get away for a few days, and then enjoy the place. Is the Airbnb market a great investment for homeowners in 2045? It can be if you do it correctly. You have to be smart. You have to know your numbers. You have to know where you're looking. So if you just buy a house up here and just throw it on Airbnb, you're not just going to be making tons of money on it. A lot of the times you're going to, unfortunately, get an agent that will push his sales. Oh no, just buy this, you'll be fine. That's not the case. But if you do it right, you can still get what you need to make the house hopefully pay for itself and give you guys a great getaway. Like I said, it's all about choosing the right properties, the locations, different amenities. Also, what was a really big factor is different management companies. Depending if you go big house companies or if you go mom and pop shops, there's different things that you need to consider for how much they're going to take. And if you're going to try to manage it yourself, I have clients that get a good cleaner and they help with the check-ins, the cleanings, they help manage it, and they save a lot of money that way, and they just manage the app from wherever they're at. That's something we can do too. We can break that down in more detail. But I just want to say thank you for taking time to do a little deeper dive on this Airbnb market up here. If you found this helpful, subscribe to me for more real estate insights. Or like I said, send me an email, brad@bradfordkinggroup.com if you have any questions, or if you even just want me to analyze some of your potential houses you're looking at to see if it makes sense for you guys. Talk to you soon.